What the neuroscience research has kind of unequivocally shown now is that it's sort of neurologically incompatible to be both engaged in deep meaning making and connecting the things that you're doing and learning to the broader narrative of kind of the story of who you are and what you understand and how the world works, at the same time as you're paying attention into the world and gathering information and trying to complete tasks that require sort of planful executive function. In education, we often overprivilege the mind state that's not involving this sort of default rest network, but instead is involving this kind of all eyes on me, watch and pay attention sort of mode, which is an essential mode for optimal learning. But if we overprivilege it, what the evidence suggests, and this is not proven yet, but we have accumulating data to suggest, and it's very consistent with what we know about how the brain works, we may be developing young brains that are biased toward this kind of right now goal-directed thinking at the expense of helping kids build the kind of internal compass for self and complex meaning making and critical thinking that is going to allow them to use the skills that they're learning outside of the immediate context in which they're learning them in order to be a productive, creative, innovative person going forward. This has a couple of really important implications for how classrooms are designed, how digital media environments support learning. We want to mindfully build into the learning space opportunities for what we call constructive internal reflection. Several studies now have shown that opportunities for reflection, for example in writing, can be excellent for helping people to make deeper meaning and thinking about the broader context of what they're learning. But what's really important to think about is the writing skill of your learners in that context. So if your students are at a point where engaging with the writing process in a concrete way is using up their cognitive energy, then that's not a reflective experience. They may want to do their reflections by reflecting with a friend or a classmate, or by doing a video recording of themselves describing what they mean. It really matters that we don't just narrowly define good education as the building block skills, because those skills will by definition neurologically not transfer out of the context in which they were learned without a child's supported ability to integrate those skills into the broader context of what they want to do in their life, who they are, and what problems really drive them in the community.